What's good with it, y'all? It's Coffee tapping back in with an update. And to me, this just further cements the L that Drake took going up against Kendrick Lamar, man. One of the dopest in the game, one of the GOATs who just embarrassed him, humiliated him, man. I always got a thing that I say when I tap in the blogosphere, and everyone, make sure you tap in the comments and let me know your thoughts. Sub up, hit them buttons and all that good ish. You know what I mean? I always say I'm just an individual talking into a device, giving my take on ish. You know, when I invite other individuals to chop it up with me, that's just what I do. You know what I mean? I don't come out here and claim to be no expert or nothing like that. You feel me? Like, it's the blogosphere. Everyone can, say what they say and engage with other individuals. That's just what it is. That's how it goes. You feel me? And with that being said, I'm always like, let's debate, discuss, etc. Just have that good convo, that coffee talk. But I always say, if necessary, let's agree to disagree. You know what I mean? I'm not the type to really argue on that goofball, whack 100 type ish, screaming at people and all that. Like, that's just goof troop vibes to me on some real ish. Y'all let me know what you think. Feel me? But when I'm saying that, I'm saying, hey, to each their own. But when it comes to this ish, man, Drake got bodied. I don't give a fuck what no one says. You feel me? Like, typically, I'm saying, hey, you feel how you feel, I feel how I feel, whatever. When it comes to this, anyone saying Drake won, you're wrong. You're lying to yourself. And there's a lot of Drake stans out there saying this, you know what I mean? But Kendrick just bodied him. And this ish was so much more deeper than just them going back and forth. It got very personal, you know what I mean? And we're seeing right now in this aftermath with this update, Drake and is feeling like a crybaby female on some straight fugazi-ish, you feel me? So the beef was personal, right? But it was also deeper than that on a level for what these two artists represent when it comes to Kendrick just being who he is with his lyricism, how his poetry runs deep and all that. And then Drake is bubblegum pop type ish, and that's cool and all that. You know what I mean? There's songs like that have a popish type vibe to them and all that are cool. You know what I mean? Like, not everyone is into hip hop when it comes to bars and being a real MC and all that. But when it comes to that, in this beef, this back and forth, what it represented, it was like Kendrick bodied him on a personal level and humiliated Drake and let him know, you could never be the MC I am. We're just different. You know what I mean? You're not like me, right? And it's so wild. We just saw yesterday, I'll pin it below, Joe Budden on his podcast, one of the top podcasts, I would say, in the blogosphere when it comes to hip hop. Let me know if you would agree with that sentiment. Him, Queens Flip, and the whole cast was talking about how now that Drake took this major L, with Kendrick dropping this surprise album and, had some bars aimed at different individuals, or some people say that it wasn't really shots fired. Some of it was just artistic expression, if you will. You know what I mean? I was saying in that other video, it takes me back to that Control joint when he did the whole King of New York thing. It was like very metaphorical, very deep artistry when it came to that. But everyone came with their responses and everything. Just another time Kendrick had the blogosphere in a frenzy. But getting back to going on now, one of the individuals that they were talking about, and again, that's pinned below, go check that thing out and comment on that. It seems Wayne tried to reach out and apparently is thinking about going to war with Kendrick. I don't know. Again, that video is pinned below. Go tap into that one and let me know what y'all think in regards to that. But getting back to the Drake beef, Drake had some other things Joe Budden had some other things to say in regards to Drake. Not just about him taking an L, but about Drake's character. How this beef in the back and forth really put out there what other MCs look at Drake like, and what Drake's character really is behind the scenes. You know what I mean? Like, y'all heard Kendrick calling him out for being on some weirdo offender type ish. And Drake was commenting, or I'm sorry, Joe was commenting on this, and the way Drake has been responding to things, and you see his pops getting in the mix, it's just L on top of L on top of L. And at this point, I want to know if y'all think, man, Drake's legacy, like he could sell records and do all this and put up numbers, but who he looks like, what he looks like, how he's looking after all this is just, I don't know, man. Like he might really be having some stains on his legacy. And peep it, this is what he was saying, right? He said, or he's a selfish, lying, manipulative sack of ish who has made enemies for 15 years, and now we're here at the fucking boiling point. You've been behind the scenes being the biggest sack of ish you can possibly be, and he's fucking white, and he's J-word, gotta be careful with that one, y'all. And he had too much dip on his chip. You've been behind the scenes. Where's it at? My bad, y'all. You've been behind the scenes hitting dudes' baby moms, sending money to dudes' baby moms. Your dog been sending messages to this dude's wife. Dog, this dude's been a sack of ish behind the scenes. And because he had his fans and had Lucian, everybody just gets to turn the blind eye. The blind eye days are done. So we know Jump Off Joe Beasy and Drake has some beef where motherfuckers pulled up to his crib. You guys remember that? Talking about OVO sound and all that. Joe Budden was on the top of their car with rocks. Remember that shit? That shit was crazy, man. But you see Drake's dad responding, saying, like, Joe needs to back off. This has nothing to do with him, and stand down. And this is in regards to, this says everything to me, right? Because he was saying this about these lawsuits, right? And you see what the reports are. Drake's attorneys initiated legal action against Universal Music Group and Spotify, alleging the companies conspired to artificially inflate the popularity of Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us. Now, do you believe this to be true? I don't know. You know what I mean? But it's so crazy to see Drake want to go to war with UMG, right? Like, yo, we already know the reach they got and whatever, but it's just like he can't just take punches and roll with it and push on. He's on some crybaby-ish. I don't know if this is true or not, but even if it's not, right, we saw Kendrick do the pop-up show and everyone go crazy, and how it's just been a movement and how it just really exposed Drake and just beat the brakes off him, has him looking goofy. And then check out the other lawsuit. This really says a lot here. He's accusing UMG of defamation in the second legal filing, saying the music group could have stopped release of this K-Dot song, falsely accusing him of being an ex-offender. Now, I don't believe Kendrick flat out said, you're an ex-offender, right? Because you could call an individual an offender, metaphorically speaking, like, yo, I know you on some weirdo-ish or whatever, but obviously, like, Drake has never been charged with something like that, convicted, and actually is on a registry. But Kendrick just put out some things that a lot of people have known behind the scenes for the longest time, Billy Joel voice. And you see Drake responding in this way, like, yo, this lawsuit ain't gonna change nothing. This song is a whole movement. Everybody done heard it. You crying in your feelings, trying to sue Universal. Like, I don't know, man. Comment what you guys think. Like, could Drake trying to sue UMG, could that fuck his career up? You know what I mean? Because, like, listen, when it comes to big business and everything, obviously we're in the US of A, and this is a capitalistic society. The almighty dollar reigns supreme in this country, right? It's all about big business. Lobbyists control things and stuff like that. Money talks and bullish walks. And the fact that Drake is going up against this company that is like a beast, right? When it comes to the music industry, could this get him deaded off in ways he just can't even imagine yet. You know what I mean? And I don't know, the fact that he's crying like this really seems like Kendrick hit some truths. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. This ish is just crazy. But, and then you see his dad tapping in, trying to tell Joe Budden to back off, like anyone is giving a fuck about that, man. Like, I don't know. This is all just making Kendrick look worse and worse and further cementing this L. If you ask me, I want to know what y'all think, though, man. Like, do you guys think him putting these 2 lawsuits out could hurt him in the music business, but also hurts him when it comes to this L? You know what I mean? Does this L exponentially, you know, hit on another level now that he's out here suing and crying like a girl, and then Joe Budden is calling him out for it, and his dad is getting on here like, yo, this doesn't have anything to do with you. Stand down. Like, I don't know, Drake just looking wild, goofy right now, if you ask me. But I want to know what y'all think. So hit the comments, sub up. Man, like, it's all about hearing from the people, but this is just crazy. Like, if the beef wasn't enough, the diss tracks, the way those tracks were hitting, again, the pop-up show, everything that's transpired, if that wasn't LNF already for Drake to be in his feelings, crying, putting in lawsuits, whining like a bitch, and then his pops is trying to act tough in the comments. I mean, like, it's basically like he's at home crying like a bitch. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. This just, to me, is really showing the type character Drake is really on when it comes down to it, you know? And, like, obviously, again, Joe Budden has had beef with Drake before, and we know Joe Beasy is an emotional dude as well. You know what I mean? But he don't hold back what he has to say. You feel me? Drake is a dude that's just on some different type timing. And even with Joe Budden having that history with Drake, it still don't change that a lot of what he's saying seems to be true. And this whole aftermath and things continuing to move in the way that they are speaks volumes to that, in my opinion. So subscribe, let's talk. I'll catch you on the next one. Man, this just keeps getting worse for Drake, man. Straight up.